All right. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to our third tribal challenge here at Can You Survive District 13. Our tribes are being brought in, and we are then going to show Caribou, who was voted out second from our tribe of Goddard. If you did not catch that tribal council, go back and check it out. There's also great time to catch information from Alicia, as she also gives a great insight as to what's going on behind the scenes. So make sure you check it out. But I will let you all know it was unfortunately Guillaume that was voted out of last tribal council. We are here in the challenge field getting ready to kick off with things. It's going to be a wheelie fun time. I hope you enjoyed that pun. That is the sun getting to me. But it is going to be, there's going to be some wheelbarrows and stuff. But I'm going to let Cam, as always, our wonderful magical Jeff Probes, explain all that to you all as we get situated here on the field. We're going to spin a wheel to figure out how many players will play in this challenge. Let's go take a peek at the wheel because we can kind of see what the numbers are going to look like. I'm going to turn the camera around to show what the numbers are. Looks like 6, 7, and 8 are the options. As the kids would say, 6, 7. So I guess we will find out what the wheel has in store for our tributes, for how many will be playing, and potentially how many will be going to tribal. Another one of our, as always, Katie, our amazing tribe handler. You can see the 3 Goddards that did not go to tribal council, waiting for their tribe to come in. All right, thank you for letting me know. All right, yeah, volume is all right for me. Okay, yeah, let me know. Turn me up on there. I got the mic right by my lovely mouth. Let me know. I can always speak up. Hello. But yeah, this has been quite a ride here as we get to our third tribal challenge of the day. At probably the hottest point of the day, do we have a coin update? That's a very good question. I will be honest, I don't know. I would check in with Alicia. She might. It's hard to see, but I know in the mornings we have Coffee at the Capitol with Isaiah, and he loves to do updates, so I would check him out in the mornings. You can find the one he did this morning on YouTube. We're hoping that we can get the one tomorrow on YouTube and Facebook, but if not, check his YouTube one out, and he gives some great updates. So let's go over to the tribe, get some tribe talk while we wait to kick this off for our next challenge. We're just gonna come over here.
All right, tributes, we're going to get into our third immunity challenge. First things first, Caribou, I'll take back the immunity idol. Thank you very much, Phil. All right, for this next challenge,
I can give you an update of what they were
we will now
discussing,
bring
Ryan,
in
but you might see it as well.
the rest of the Goddard tribe. Guillaume voted out at the last tribal council. option of 6, 7, or 8 participants. So we will spin first thing up. We'll be at 6 participants. All right. Yes. We'll tell you the challenge in one moment. First things first, Lex, for receiving a vote in the tribal, received a coin. All right. We'll have you head this way and I can walk you through the challenge.
All right, we're going to walk over here real quickly. While Cam gives them a lovely breakdown of the challenge. As always, he's going to give us a lovely breakdown of the challenge here. For those of you that was, yes, it is a scary number 6. The wheel is loving these smaller numbers for our lovely players. So 6 is definitely a scary number. So I'm going to introduce to see how these pairings break out. But for those of you who missed out, Caribou has an advantage where they can force a player, I believe, on the other tribe to participate in a challenge of their choosing. And it sounded like they were considering using it, which is what the discussion was. They were like kind of evaluating the other players on the other tribe and sizing them up and saying like, oh, let's do this person because they've never played before, or this person said they weren't feeling well, let's not do them. So we'll see. They're going to wait, it sounds like, until after the challenge is explained, and then they may or may not use that advantage. Who knows? Caribou is on a winning streak right now, and you can bet Goddard does not want to go back to tribal for a third time in a row. So they are eager for a win. So I believe Caribou might do this just to try to potentially throw some, a wrench in their plans potentially. So we'll see what happens. But that's very, very interesting. So yeah. Cam's just about finished wrapping up this explanation, and then we'll get a little explanation ourselves while they deliberate, and then we will kick off this challenge for our third tribe immunity challenge of our game. Some clarifications from our lovely Jeff. I'm going to show you guys the challenge so you can maybe guess what we are doing.
The transition to the next tribe member acts as your checkpoint. Once it's given to that tribe member, it'll never leave, go back to that station. So once they're off the bottom of the station,
if you think you know what they have to do, give a shout out before Jeff gives us our lovely explanation. And by Jeff, I mean, of course, Cam.
And on the balance beam, you and the wheelbarrow have to stay on the balance beam the whole time. If one of you falls, either the blocks, the balance beam, or the wheelbarrow, all the way back to the beginning, or all the way back to here. Any questions?
So a little bit of deliberations are happening right now as we wait to get Cam to give us a lovely description.
How do you get the wheelbarrow back?
The person who drops them will run them all the way back.
You pick up the wheelbarrow and I get the wheel back. Like you can't drop the blocks to the second person and go back.
No. Well, you can, but then they would have to reset this.
Lots of questions, lots of clarifications. Always want to make sure you know what's going on. Let's check out our other tribe. Not asking as many questions, but doing a lot of deliberation.
I imagine you might be able to readjust. Maybe they said it was a live transition. Oh, live transition. But maybe we should ask.
Well, we also got to figure out how many blocks do we want to put on. Like, are we thinking 3? Are we thinking 4?
No, it's a live transition. So if you drop after you have control over it, you can then reset them there at your station. That is a check.
Okay. So
But if it's during the live, you can purposely drop them and reset them if there's. But you have to get full control over it first, because if it falls during the transition, that goes back all the way to the start. Does that make sense?
so you get full control. You can if it's like sketchy, make sure you have full control and then dump and then reset. Or just try. But did everyone like understand that?
I'll give you a few seconds to figure out your six.
All right, we're going to have Cam over here give us a brief rundown for our viewers at home.
Yeah, so we got 6 players participating in this challenge. There's going to be 2 at each of our 3 stations. The first station is loading a wheelbarrow with as many blocks as they feel comfortable with, wheeling it across our teeter-totter, all the way across, and reaching this checkpoint. They have to then live transfer those to the next person. Once it's live transferred, this acts as a checkpoint, so if the second person falls while doing their task, it'll start back here. The second person will then go over the balance beam with the wheelbarrow until they hit this checkpoint where they can dump the blocks. The groups will alternate folks at each of these stations, so there's 4 people working on these first 2 stations until all the blocks have gotten here. Then the 2 puzzle makers can work on building their archway puzzle to spell a word on both sides. Once the puzzle is built, this challenge is not over. They will have to physically carry the puzzle all the way to our finish line without dropping. If the puzzle drops during that, they'll have to come back here and put it back together.
Thank you, Cam.
Giving them a few moments to choose their 6, and then we'll get started.
And I know it's a little hard. Let me know if the volume seems a little different. I am speaking into the mic directly right now. I know it's harder when they're in their big groups, especially if they're whispering. But let me know if the volume seems oddly lower. But let's go find out maybe who they are deciding to put in for this group of 6. Because this is our 3rd, everyone has had a chance to, I don't know if everyone's had a chance to sit out, but most people have gone to tribal because the last 2 were larger.
Oh yeah.
Ever in your favor?
No, but it's a long word. It's one word.
They said that?
Yeah, say one word.
Oh, they said that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, then
So
like
you would be
everything
like,
I said. Okay.
like persistent.
Okay.
Oh, no, there's an M.
Yeah.
Instructions, so don't, when you pass the checkpoint, don't just drop it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the players are just whispering, keeping their strategy. Thank you, Albie, who is the man behind the curtain for all things social media, so I do appreciate it.
News for the tribe.
There's some news. An advantage is being played.
All right. Nick is playing a capital decree, which allows him to force a participant from the opposite tribe into the challenge. He has selected Lex. We don't know if he was already in the challenge for their plans, but Lex has to participate. Raul is also playing a capital decree. Who are you selecting? Lindsay. So both Lex and Lindsay are forced to participate in this challenge. Bring on, baby.
Interesting.
Still comfortable with
2 advantages back to back used by Caribou, who has won twice, putting 2 people into this challenge. Now, I don't know if Lindsay and Lex were already part of the 6. Sounds like those 2 players were not potentially going to compete. So now they are having to re-strategize. So this could work in their favor, but who knows?
We're gonna be figuring it out.
And I feel like you'll be able to
help with the
Like, here's the thing, I can say right now that I feel
Like if it's gonna be holding it up, we
how
need
big
more.
is it?
Yeah. If we're not, can we sit in the shade?
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
Okay, thank you. You got this.
Is the
You wanna
arch
do
on the
ice
table
roll?
or are we holding it?
Oh.
That platform that's on the seaboard is a platform that lifts up.
I
That's how
see.
you can carry it.
I mean, I feel
Flat
like
board,
We carry it?
you can carry the board over to the
I see. So we make the arch and then we carry it. Fine. Thank you.
Okay, so the seesaw itself, I know I can do.
Yeah.
But
Sit outside under the shady tree over there.
All right, so
Start lining up with their
that
station.
advantage definitely threw Goddard into a little bit of a scramble to strategize. So let's see if they're going to be able to capitalize on their strategy, because it does not look like Lindsay and Lex were part of their initial group. So they are now dividing up, and depending on who is doing what station, they can carry however many they need to. So they're switching spots. They're figuring out. Everyone's also potentially looking for some coins.
Second station for Goddard. We do. All right.
So everyone is figuring out their placements right now.
So everyone is at their station.
So over here for the final station, we're going to focus on the beginning station. Aubrey and Adore. Adore is going to load up 3.
You cannot help it. One person at a time.
There is no limit to how many they
Aubrey
can
is just gonna
load.
test out one
Aubrey is
first to
doing
see how it
1.
feels.
Aubrey is
getting
first
onto
to the wheelbarrow.
teeter-totter,
Adore is was going to go for 3, but now they're going to go for 2.
figuring out the angle to get onto the seahorse.
Aubrey has successfully made it across the teeter-totter.
Adore trying with 2. They
Adore
fail,
has
they
to
have
go back.
That's 2 across. It's a live transition.
We
No
have our
touching on it.
first live transition.
There you go. Now you get back to the beginning.
It does take a little bit of a learning curve.
Aldrian is now working on
Aldrian is now going across the balance beam. Adore is on their way back.
You have to come back to the beginning. You can reset the block all the way back to the beginning.
Still doing 2.
Yep. There you go. You're good.
Adore now. Let's see if they can
Adore
make
now
that
trying to
transition.
manage the teeter-totter.
They
Good
made the
transition
transition with
blocks
2.
here. The wheels touch. It's a live transition here to Champagne.
Live transition, giving some
Champagne is now on.
tips to their partner.
Aldrian across with 1. Aldrian run the
Now, Aldrian did drop off the 1 block, but if Champagne can complete this technically,
one across.
they will be ahead because they did 2.
Champagne trying to get 2 across here to take the lead for Goddard.
Champagne is focused on the balance beam. Again, they would technically be in the lead.
Just get across.
And they're good. Now they're going to wheel it back. Champagne was going to carry it and is going to wheel it back. All right. Kieran is on the board with 2. Let's see if they're going to still 2. Kieran dropped. Adore giving some great advice to Lindsay. Again, these have not experienced the wheelbarrow, so they have to figure it out. So Adore giving some good tips. Lindsay making their way to the teeter-totter. They are currently now ahead.
Now it's going to be the tricky part here.
Oh, and they have to go back, and there is a drop, opening the door for Kieran, who is now entering. Kieran making their way across. Again, learning curve. That drop on the teeter-totter is hard, and so you really have to try to counterbalance it. Lindsay has now entered and has now very smoothly made their way up onto the teeter-totter and has pretty much matched Kieran. Kieran has dropped. Lindsay is working on making that transition. And Lindsay has fallen. Looks like Kieran is going to go with 1, which is, a smart move. If you're struggling with 2, go with 1 and do what you got to do to get across. Kieran is shifting to 1. Lindsay's struggling to put it on top. Kieran is back at the end of that puzzle, of that teeter board. They have made it across, and that stayed on. They're handing off to Patch. Lindsay again back on with the 2.
Patches down
Again,
on the balance
the
beam.
strategy of doing more than the other tribe can benefit you if you can continue to stay
Across the balance beam.
with the other tribe.
See?
Oh, Lindsay made the transition across. Light transition. Almost decided that they were going to go all the way across. Now Cod has to go across. Now those blocks are not very steady.
Balance beam here.
The Cod is
Able to get
very
up.
smooth.
If Goddard is able to complete this, they are doubling up Caribou right now.
Exactly what Cam just said.
That's a 2.
If they can get across,
So wobbly.
Not fall.
Cod has very good balance right now.
Blocks are across.
And they have just doubled.
Todd has to bring the wheelbarrow
They got to
back.
bring the wheelbarrow back.
52.
All right. Goddard in great spirits. They are going still with the 2. They are technically now in the lead, which would be the first time, I think, in our challenges that Goddard has taken the lead over Caribou. Adore going for 3. I wouldn't say arrogant. I would say they are feeling very confident. This is their second time out on the field. We've got Aubrey with 2, Adore with 3.
He can survive the transition.
Now the hardest part again is keeping the balance.
Up with 3.
The wheelbarrow, is
Aubrey
not
bounced at the same spot.
the
Not able
greatest.
to move it.
Adore very meticulously,
Careful
just
step.
trying very confidently. Again, it's harder. Those blocks are shifting.
Gently. And was able to do it.
Wow, very
Get across the
smoothly.
line.
Very smoothly.
Aubrey across with 1.
It's a live transition.
Aldria is safe.
And then reset.
Very good communication.
You can just go. Oh, all right. You're fine. You're good.
Champagne said, I'm going to reset, which is actually very smart. You know, why not reset? They have, technically, they are in the lead.
3.
Cod giving some very great tips as Champagne resets. Again,
Campaign.
this is
Backing
a
the third one
great
back on.
opportunity
Question
for
of
them
strategy,
to
purposely
take the
dropping
lead
here
if they
to
can
lost a lot
continue
of
to go
time.
across with 2. And like I said, again, this is a puzzle. They have to figure out what the word is. They have to spell it correctly on both
Going
sides.
one at a time.
So
Goddard going for
it is very good. Kieran just dropped, and they're going back, and Champagne is on with 3.
balance beam.
Now they can take their
Get
time.
her feet on it now. Kieran coming across with 1. Trying to survive that.
Champagne is very focused.
Ball is- the block is bouncing. Pass is safe now.
Champagne is almost across. If they can get across with these 3, they would have almost tripled. Oh, did not make it across, but that is okay. So that puts Caribou right now at 4 blocks. They have tied it up, but again, Champagne, if they can get these across, they would still technically be 3 ahead of Caribou if they can get across.
Blocks make an arch, so they're not going to lay perfect.
Champagne
Aubrey going for 2 now.
taking some time, that losing slightly the lead that they have built up against Caribou, but she is headed out onto that balance beam, very focused, trying to get across to put them back in the lead by 3. Now she just has to get across. She is good. She is running back with the wheelbarrow, and so they are now ahead. And Lindsay, let's see if she's going to go with 2. So we do know Adore is very good with the wheelbarrow. So let's see if Lindsay is going to stick with what they feel comfortable in, which is 2, just to be safe, because again, you don't want to make too big of bites. You want to do what you think is safe. Aubrey is still moving with 1. Moving with 1 can sometimes be a little bit detrimental. Lindsay is now back on the teeter board. Aubrey, you can see on the other side also trying to get down and make that
Aubrey makes it
transition.
across.
Can Lindsay make the
For the
transition?
last
She
inch.
cannot.
Aldrin.
Now you can see that those wheels are actually not completely round, so that does add a layer of
Caribou going with the slow and steady one block at a time.
difficulty for our players.
Having no problem with it there.
All right, Aldrin, now
Wheelbarrow
they are
going
at
backwards here.
5 to 7.
Lindsay going for 3, I believe. Or just
Lindsay
2.
going for 2. Just had to clarify with Cam, she's at 2. Lindsay's very smooth with getting onto the
Gary can't
teeter totter and falls again. They're going to take a second and reset. Again, Lindsay was one of the players that was
just one block.
voted in by the other tribe. Lindsay has decided to go with 1 this time just to get across.
Bounce there. Kieran makes the transition.
Kieran has made the transition.
Pat's gonna try
Lindsay
to get
working
one
on making
across.
that transition.
Into that lead to make it 7 to 6.
Again,
Lindsay.
Goddard has that lead, has a lead, so they are doing okay. Cod is now on the balance beam. Again,
6 to 7 right now.
they are
trying to
still in the
get 6 to
lead
8.
by 1, we
Alright,
had to
Chad, step up
say.
to that one.
And
I'm just
they
down.
are across.
Aubrey trying for 2 now. Todd able to get the 8th back.
So Adore is now back
Adore did
out.
3 last
Adore
time.
did do 3. Let's see, are they going to do 3 again? Aubrey is out on the course with 2. Let's see if they have gotten the feel for it. Adore is going to go for 3.
Adore going with 3 again.
So let's see what they can do. Aubrey just dropped at the edge of the teeter, opening the door for Goddard to continue to build this lead. If Adore can get across in Champaign with these blocks, this will give them a very big lead for this challenge. You can tell they do not want to go back to tribal council. Our players are very quickly getting a feel for the teeter-totter. Aubrey decided to go with the 1. Adore, very focused.
Aldrin now has the block.
Adore waiting for that transition. Very good save.
Save there.
Very good save. You can see the fatigue is starting to, and with a huge leap, they survived the transition. A very, very great save and a very great Champagne now on the balancing beam, focusing.
Getting into a rhythm with 1 each, though.
They do have a lead, so there is no need to rush.
Oh, they did not survive the transition. You have to go back.
Champagne just now has to get across. And they're good, extending their lead. Now just a reminder, Goddard has to, when they do get to the puzzle, both sides. If you see Survivor, you've seen those lovely puzzles where they have to spell a word on both sides and the players get really excited because they spell it correctly on one side and then you turn around and it's not spelled correctly. Yes, it's one of those puzzles. But we added a slight extra step because this is CYS and they have to then transfer that puzzle across the finish line. Lindsay is now out on the board with 2. If they can get across with this 2 to hand off to Cod, it will help extend the lead for Goddard. Great save by Lindsay. Cod giving some very helpful hints. They're able to make it, and they saved across. Great transition. Cod is not adjusting the blocks. They are just going for it. Now, knowing that Adore has been able to do 3, 2 blocks should be a cakewalk. Cod balancing. They have to go back, but that is okay. They still have a very good lead. This would be a very huge turn of events if Goddard is able to pull out this win when they had 2 players voted in by the other tribe that they were not planning on using. Now they are on their last potential. Caribou has about 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 blocks still to bring up back, and a door is bringing across the last 2. So here they come. A door really helped their tribe extend this lead by taking big swings and them paying off. Adore has really learned to master this teeter board, so 2 should be no problem.
Yeah, let me know.
Cod giving great,
Am I good?
Cod giving great tips, great finesse. Very good. They saved it, and they are going to hand off to Champagne, and this should be their final trip. Adore absolutely opens the door for their tribe to take a lead in this challenge. Now, the puzzle solvers need to capitalize. Champagne has to go back. Champagne still has a lead, but they want to maintain that lead because puzzle solving, and you all may quote me, is a great equalizer in this challenge. And now Jess and Lex are on the board for the puzzle. Remember, they have to spell a word on both sides. And there are some puzzles that don't have words. So let's see. They are carefully lining out, looking at what letters they have, trying to figure out what word it is.
Love you.
Great words of encouragement from their tribe. It looks like they're going to try to spell the word before they attempt to build it. So now you've got all these letters. Viewers at home, can you try to solve this? Let me know. You can see the letters they are looking at. Caribou is still working on transitioning their last block. They are looking at figuring out what is this word. Patch is coming across. Caribou has one more block. They are trying to spell a word. You can look at these words and letters, and there's a lot of possibilities. So it's just figuring out what can your brain put together. All right, both tribes are on the puzzle. So now the pressure is back on for Goddard as both tribes are currently working on the puzzle.
All right. We've got a head-to-head battle now on the puzzle.
Now, if you look, it looks like Caribou is building right already on
Feels like both
their
sides have an idea of what they are trying
word.
to make.
I think a
Francesca
word
Kelly
is
making quick work
forming.
of
So
putting it
now
on
it's
the
going to come
actual
down
board.
to who can build it first and who can build it correctly.
It's not just about solving it, it's about solving it on both sides and being able to be dexterous enough to actually make the arch.
Adore giving some great helpful tips. You can see both tribes are currently
About
building.
a third of that arch, maybe more, already put together.
Again, different strategies. Looks like they are trying to, looks like they're trying to spell it, but also figure out what blocks because again, they need to make sure it's spelled correctly on both sides. So let's see if we got it over here. So it looks like they're trying to make sure they have both letters correct on both sides. Francesca and Kelly very close to completing the puzzle, but is it correct? Looks like
Spell
we're
the word on
starting
both
to
sides.
spell it. And then they have to cross with this puzzle past the cones. Both groups actively putting their puzzles together, making sure it's spelled correctly on both sides. And then you don't want this to fall when you start transitioning it. It looks like both groups have it sorted out. It's just now putting it together and then getting it across. This is going to be another close one, but it looks like Caribou might be getting ready to start moving with their puzzle. They are just now, it looks like Goddard is also working on ensuring that their puzzle is sound. Both groups look like they're about getting ready to start moving. Francesca and Kelly are also.
Something isn't working. Theirs is
We
not
are.
staying together.
But Francesca and Kelly are on the move with their puzzle.
Francesca and Kelly have theirs in the air.
And they are moving,
Steps with it.
putting Caribou now in the lead for the first time in this challenge. And Lex and Jess tried to lift it and it fell, opening the door for Francesca and Kelly.
Very impressive comeback here.
Now, this is all about communication with your partner because you do not want to have to rebuild this puzzle. You do not want to have to have it fall. They know that they've got a slight lead and they are taking their time. Lex and Jess have rebuilt their puzzle and looks like they're looking to lift. So now it isn't a race to get across, but they have to hope that something goes wrong for Caribou because they are inching closer to the finish line. You can hear the communication. I can maybe show you the angle they are trying, but it might not be. They just have to step across. And Caribou has won immunity, sending Goddard back to Tribal Council for the third time. So Cam is also letting them know that technically their puzzle was not made correctly. So even if they had made it across, they probably were going to be told that it was not correct. What a crazy challenge. Again, very close.
Congrats, you guys. Where's my boyfriend? Where's Nick?
We're super close. Good job.
Thank you, honey. Boyfriend.
Very impressive. Slow but steady work. We'll have you guys head back to camp along with the remainder of Goddard, and we'll see the 6 Goddard participants back at Tribal Council.
All right, folks, there you have it. You can see the players behind me doing a little bit of mingling, congratulating, giving some well wishes. But Goddard is back to Tribal Council for the third time today. The 6 that competed in that challenge will be the ones heading to Tribal Council. So we're going to be going right into Tribal Council. So get some water, get some snacks, jump into that viewers lounge, and you'll know exactly when we head back to Tribal Council. Thank you all for tuning in so much. We do greatly appreciate you. And we'll see you here on the field for the next challenge.